Public Affairs programming on WQPT is brought to you by the Singh Group at Merrill Lynch, serving the wealth management needs of clients in the region for over 25 years.
Making a difference in the courtroom, why a test in Scott County became much more, and turning the heart of Davenport into one big entertainment district, alternating currents in the cities. This weekend, a return for Alternating Currents, the big entertainment fest that may be a turning point for festivals in the cities. But first, a different way to deal with people in the court system. All too often, our legal system is populated with defendants facing drug and mental health issues. Oftentimes, those two actually go hand in hand. But for the past 3 years, Scott County has used a mental health court to try to stop the endless cycle for some offenders. It's a community effort, but is spearheaded in part by Transitions Mental Health Services. And joining us is Courtney Stenzel, who's the Residential Services Director at Transitions and Program Coordinator for the Mental Health Court. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we're starting now a third year. Tell me about that first year. Let's go back, because that was a trial year and you were really kind of feeling your way through this. What were you trying to accomplish?
So yeah, gosh, it seems like it was forever ago, but it was only 2 years ago. You know, back in 2008, Scott County attempted to start a mental health court program. They were modeling the program that's been established in Rock Island County since 2007. Unfortunately, what seemed to have happened is they kind of started at the top and tried to work their way down. So they started with legislation, they started with the court systems, they started with all of the people at the top, and unfortunately they weren't able to get it off the ground. 2 years ago, Quad City Interfaith decided that there was a need in our community to have more programs in place to help individuals that have mental health issues that are finding themselves in the criminal justice system. So they made it part of their restorative justice task force to try to get a Scott County mental health court up and running. So with their strong leadership, what they did is the opposite of what we tried to do in 2008. They started at the ground level. So it was a community effort. They went to all agencies, they went to the community, they went to the church-based supporters, and they said, we need this, our community needs this. And from there, they worked their way up. Obviously, it takes money to run an intensive program like this, and that was probably the biggest barrier that we ran into. And Genesis Philanthropy stepped up and said, we're willing to fund this pilot program. Well,
now you're starting your third year. You've got 2 years under your belt.
Yeah.
So what is the third year like? I mean, how are you confident in what you're doing is right, or do you feel there's areas that need to be expanded?
I'm definitely confident that what we're doing is right. Now, with that said, there's always room for improvement. There's always things that we can do that are going to make the program better, more efficient. So we explore those on a regular basis. You know, what can we do? What can we change? Who else do we need to be a part of this? But I'm confident that this program is important and it's needed in our community. One thing that we haven't had to worry about starting this third year is, do we have money to do the program? Because after the first year, the pilot program, it was, well, are we going to have money to continue into the second year? And then after the second year, you know, we weren't for sure, but Genesis Philanthropy continues every year to be a generous supporter of our program. They're seeing the changes it's making in the community. And then in addition to that, this year we were very lucky to receive regional dollars on a one-time grant basis and additional funds from the Office of Drug Control Policy, and we received a JAG grant as well. So we're really sitting in a good position for year 3 and year 4.
Now, I would assume that there's two important aspects to this. One, of course, is getting people out of the system, getting them to live independently, getting them to live a good life and not be in the court system. The second, it's always down to dollars and cents and saving money. So let's take a look at both of those. How have you impacted people's lives so far? Well,
and that to me is the most important part, because I come from a social worker background. So, and I'll tell you about the money, because it is pretty amazing what we've been able to save, but more importantly is the lives that have been changed. And if you talk to some of the participants, they'll tell you that this program has saved their lives. And to hear somebody say that is one of the most powerful things I've ever been able to experience while working in the social work field. So the ability to help somebody get their life back on track, it's about breaking the cycle. And we wonder, why this continues to happen. Why do we have people who have mental health issues getting themselves in trouble, getting arrested? They might be in county, they might go to DOC. They get out with a 30-day script for medication. Well, most of the time while they've been incarcerated, they've lost their insurance. So they get out, they call to try to get an appointment to see someone. Well, it's 6 months out to see someone, and we don't have any insurance, so even if I could get meds, I can't pay for them. And then the cycle continues. So we have to break the cycle, and that's what this program is able to do. So it not only impacts the clients that are going through it, but their children, their families that have been on this roller coaster ride, and our community as a whole. In addition to that, in 18 months, we had already saved the county and state over $350,000. And that's just the money that's been saved from sending individuals to DOC who don't need to go there. That's not going to help them. That's not going to break the cycle.
What was the turning point? I mean, when we introduced you, we talked about the fact that a lot of times crime and mental health can go hand in hand in many of these cases. What was the aha moment where this has got to be done in Scott County?
I don't know if there was necessarily an aha moment. I think that the criminal justice system, I think that the court system, the mental health system, I think everybody has realized that we need this program, but it really came down to dollars and cents. And there wasn't anybody stepping up saying we're willing to fund this program to get it off and running. And also the amount of people from the community who really stepped up and said, we need this. Numbers are pretty powerful, and in this situation, it really worked in our favor.
What do you see as far as the response from the legal community, particularly from prosecutors as well as from police, the people that actually charge the crime and prosecute the cases?
It's amazing to see those people that sometimes are viewed in a negative stance from those individuals that I work with. Maybe they haven't had the best interactions with the police department or the county attorney who's prosecuting them for whatever the charges are. But we've had a lot of support from both of those departments. We actually have two individuals off the Davenport Police Department who are members of our mental health court team. So they come to court on Fridays, they come to staffing, they're building relationships with these clients. And that's kind of part of this process, is making sure that our clients who maybe weren't on medications, who really were in not a good place at the time of their arrest, see that the police aren't bad people. They're here to help us and support us. So they're an active part of our mental health court team, along with the county attorney who, if they wouldn't have supported this program, it never would have taken off to begin with. We had to have their support.
How does the person get involved as far as the mental health court is concerned? I mean, how do they get diverted out of the legal system, which so often is black and white to a certain extent? I know there's so many gray areas, there's plea bargaining, there's all of those things, but how does this work? How does a defendant actually end up in a mental health court?
So what's really cool about our program is referrals can come from anywhere. So if that individual's connected to any agencies in the community and they know that they've been arrested, they have new charges, they can call us, they can refer the client. We have referrals from within the jail. We have 2 jail staff members that work within the jail that send us referrals for individuals that they have seen or are familiar with having mental health issues. We get referrals from the attorneys, and that's one of the things that we want to continue to do, is educate our attorneys in the community about our program, who those right candidates are, so if they have somebody that they're defending, they can send our way. Even the county attorney's office will make referrals if they've been in court and they've seen that somebody obviously has some mental health issues that could benefit from our program. They'll send a referral to us. We have individuals make their own referrals. Inmates within the county jail can kite and say that they'd like to be screened for mental health court, and the referral comes to me. So we get referrals from all over different resources, families as well.
Now, right now you have about how many people in the program?
Right now we have about 12 clients, and our capacity is about 15 with our current funding.
And how many people do you think that you've helped over the course of the last 2 years?
I'd say at least 30 have been through our program, or we've impacted them in one way or another. We might have somebody who maybe isn't right for our program, but then what we do is we go that extra step to refer them to other agencies, connect their families to resources, so it's just not a dead end for them. So we know that they can continue to get help and support even outside of our program.
And then what do you see for the 3rd year? Now that you locked down the funding.
Yeah.
Whew.
I know, right?
Now you can just deal with the programming, which is a challenge unto itself.
Yeah, we really are looking at growing our program. We'd like to be able to bump our capacity up to 20 people. It's a really intensive program, and I think that some people don't realize that. So the individuals that are in our program, they're seeing our team members. It could be the probation officer, myself as the coordinator, Mick Painter, who works for Transitions, he's my right hand. He does a lot of individual work, group work with these clients daily, if not 2 times a day. You know, it's a lot of interaction, a lot of intense work that we're doing. So our capacity, we'd like to be able to get up to at least 20 clients by the end of the year, so that way we can continue to grow.
And we're saying that these are adults. These are people that are mostly non-violent, are they not?
That's correct.
And also there are some felonies as well as misdemeanors involved here. So I mean, you see the whole gamut of the mental health situation as far as the Scott County court system is concerned.
Yep, absolutely. And you know, the screening process, the determination process, it's very intensive. Obviously, there's a lot of individuals in the criminal justice system that have mental health issues. Just because they have mental health issues doesn't mean that they're appropriate for our program. So we really need to find those right candidates who we really feel have an ability to be successful through our program.
And that you can reach and make some changes.
Exactly.
Courtney Stenzel, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Scott County Mental Health Court, now 2 years down, starting a 3rd year. Still ahead, moving forward with alternating currents. But first, Laura Adams has that and more of what you can do if you do go out and about.
This is Out and About for August 20th through 26th. Hi, I'm Laura Adams. Join the Bishop Hill Chautauqua celebration commemorating the Great War at Village Park on the 25th. Silvis's Main Street 16th Annual Moonlight Parade and Festival happens the 25th. Vets on the River, an all-Corvette car show raising money for Vietnam Veterans of America, is in LeClaire the 25th, while Aledo Main Street's annual Antique Days features food, entertainment, and antiques. There's fun for the whole family at Farm Days in the Village of East Davenport the 25th and 26th. Observe or create at the Quad City Arts 2nd Annual Chalk Art Fest in downtown Davenport the 25th and 26th. Help crown the winner at the German American Heritage Center's The Best of the Worst Sausage Cook-Off. The 19th Annual Iowa SIDS Walk for the Future is at Duck Creek Park on the 25th. Moline Center, the Thursday night summer concert series at Bass Street Landing, features the Candy Makers the 23rd. East Moline's Music in the Park features Pocket Change on the 26th, while Forever Plaid the musical performs at Timberlake Playhouse. Be prepared to laugh at All You Can Eat, a comedy thingy, as they perform and record 3 new podcasts at the Black Box Theater the 25th, and Quad City Theater Workshop presents Dead Man's Cell Phone opening August 24th. Plus, the Riverbend Bronze Handbell Ensemble holds auditions on the 24th at the 15th Avenue Christian Church in Rock Island. For more information, visit wqpt.org.
Thank you, Laura. Beth Ann Heitgerken has been featured on our program over the past few years, but for the last year, she's joined 3 other friends here in the cities to form the group Bees. They are part of this weekend's Alternating Currents in Davenport, but tonight we wanted to feature a solo performance from Beth Ann as she joined us on stage at Moline's Black Box Theater. Beth Ann Heitgerken with Wish You the Best.
Sometimes I fall into the past, think too much on things that did not last. As I grow older, now I know I'll still be with you wherever you go. Let it go with the rest, and I wish you the best. Many times, many thoughts, many times I got caught. As I grow older, now I know I'll still be with you wherever you go. Let it go with the rest, and I wish you the best. I still love you all the time. I still miss you, I still cry. My heart is full of love, tender, sad, and good. I don't forget, you did all you could. Let it go with the rest, and I wish you the best. La da 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 da, la da da do do da do da, la da 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 da, la da da do do da do da, la da da do do da do da, la da do do da.
Beth Ann Heitgerken with Wish You the Best. She and her bandmates from Bees will be just one of the 100+ performers taking part in this year's Alternating Currents. It's more than a concert, it's really a community takeover as artists from the world of music, comedy, film, and a few other surprises take the stages throughout Central Davenport. It's the Downtown Davenport Partnership's second year of throwing this party, and event coordinator Jason Gilliland joins us now. Man, how much success did you have last year? Was that a lot of fun, or was that, oh my gosh, this is something new?
Well, I mean, it was definitely something new, but it was incredible. This first year we'd done the event. You don't know exactly how the community will embrace it, and we had great crowds the entire weekend. And you know, we did just so well that we're like, absolutely, we're gonna do this again. And this year we've more than doubled the amount of content we have at the event.
Is that one of those things that people saw it last year and went, okay, now I want to be a part of it? I mean, you
Absolutely.
almost had to, you know, your first foot goes in the
Right.
water last year, and now people are going, okay, this is something to get excited about.
Absolutely. Yeah, we had a ton of people that said, yeah, I get it now. I understand what you're doing, and we wanna help out.
Well, when we talked last year, I mean, this is kind of an offshoot of River Roots, which is an offshoot of so many different things. And the whole idea was pretty much to have a great concert, but not just have one venue, to actually get it off the riverfront and get it throughout the community. Has that been really the big success here?
Absolutely. I mean, one of the things we want to be able to do is showcase our downtown and showcase our arts community. We have a ton of talented musicians and artists and, you know, doers and makers and all these kinds of people. And so we're at a point in the downtown here that we have enough venues that we can support this. You know, we have
And growing.
And growing. Absolutely. You know, it seems like every month we have something else opening up, which is great.
And hopefully succeeding. Yeah, I mean, there's some great venues that, I mean, think about it. 10 years ago, downtown Davenport, sleepy little community, people would
Right.
roll up the sidewalks, and now there's a lot of things to do downtown.
Exactly, and we want to point that out to people, especially people that may not come downtown regularly. Come down, check it out. And with this event, we're able to actually push them into some of these venues. So they are going in there because they want to see this band or a comedian or whatever it might be, and they get to see, you know, the business, the restaurant, the bar, you know, the different venues we have downtown, and get a little more acquainted with it.
Are you trying to push it also because there's smaller venues? I mean, it seems to be more intimate settings than, let's say, LeClaire Park would be.
Right. Well, I mean, one of the things we're able to do with this is we're bringing in comedians and musicians that, you know, they're not household names. And that's okay, and we want people to come and see them. And so we're giving them that intimate opportunity to see different genres and different types of bands. You know, they're local and regional, you know, it's just a really good way to meet a new band in these small venues.
Big headliners, Dr. Dog coming to the Adler.
That's right.
That's going to draw some, that should draw an interesting crowd. I mean, it'll be a great crowd at that event.
Absolutely. I mean, we're really excited about having them here. You know, they're that kind of indie rock band.
Exactly, right.
And, you know, they fit the festival really well, but you know, they have a lot of music out there, and they haven't toured in a little while, and we're happy to have them coming through here.
And you do have, I mean, it's so underlined by music, but it's not just music.
Not at all.
And I wanted to hit a couple of those because OMG Becky Fest will be going on at
Yes.
the Figgy, I believe, right?
That is actually going to be just off 2nd Street
Okay.
between Perry and Pershing. And then, so they will have an outdoor space with vendors there.
I see, okay.
As well as inside the River Center.
In the River Center, all right, thank you. Because you are using every single venue that you have.
Right.
How is that different than regular art festival?
So this is, it's all handmade and vintage vendors.
Okay.
So they're either, kind of cool, quirky kinds of things or things that these people have made with their own hands. Most of those are going to be local and regional artists as well. And so you're going to find things there that you're not going to find anywhere else. And very unique, and it's not necessarily all fine art. I mean, there will be some of that there as well, but there's going to be all kinds of stuff. Decorate your house, gifts, just kind of weird, quirky things it's just a lot of fun to walk through.
Is that kind of the, like you said, trying to fit what you're trying to accomplish here? Is that kind of what you're looking for? Is not necessarily the offbeat, but the unique that you may not see anywhere else? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, that's definitely a part of this. Like you said, we're not looking for just weird, but we're looking for, artists, whether it's a visual artist or a comedian or a musician, we want people that are bringing their own flavor, a lot of original art and music and those kinds of things. So we want people to really celebrate that.
Well, and when I got here about 20 years ago, there were like 2 or 3 different comedy shops in the Quad City. I think 2 in Davenport alone. Now you're bringing comedy back, which is something that people don't necessarily see all the time. I mean, that's kind of an interesting part of the whole alternating currents as well.
It is. I mean, it's amazing to me how many comedians we actually have here in the Quad Cities, and we're able to showcase them. So we have multiple shows that have 4 to 6 different comedians in them to get maybe an hour show out of that. And so if you enjoy comedy at all, come down, check it out. We also are bringing in a headliner comedian from the West Coast. That's going to be really fun, and he'll be down at Front Street Brewery and Tap Room. And so we have a lot of that going on, and people should check that out if you're interested in comedy at all.
And last but not least, of course, you got film going with the Alternating Currents Film Festival. I mean, it's just amazing how you are trying to hit everything you can.
Right.
And so, here's the thing. And you've heard this so many times from kids that say, oh, there's nothing to do. Oh, this is just a backwater community.
Right.
I mean, you're really kind of finding, if you don't find something in this current, you're just not looking.
Exactly. I mean, with the film, film tends to, if it's not, a blockbuster, out at the movie theaters, people don't necessarily always pay attention. And it's harder to find, so we're trying to showcase some of that. We're doing some shorts, we're doing some local films, and then we also get to do some of the kind of more blockbuster things. So we're going to be doing a screening of A Quiet Place. So the writers are local here in the Quad Cities, and they're actually going to be there to do a Q&A afterwards.
Which I think is fantastic. I mean, that's really well received.
It is, and we're really excited about that. We have a ton of interest in that. So we're actually looking to move, not the film, we're going to show that at the Figgy, has limited seating, but then the Q&A has such a big, people want to go to it, that we're actually going to try to move that down into the lobby so we can get more people there. And another interesting thing with that is we found that the deaf community has really been in tune with this film. And one of the actresses in that is deaf, and because of the dialogue or lack of dialogue in that film, that community has really kind of garnered a lot of support for that film. So we're actually going to show that with subtitles in English, and then for the Q&A we're going to have sign language interpreters as well.
Also want to point out, so many events are family friendly. I mean, you've got like kid events as well, because you really want to make sure that everybody's invited to some of these events.
So OMG Becky Fest is a great one for that, as well as the Chalk Art Festival. We have over 40 artists that are going to be covering, 3 square blocks of chalk art.
Great visual last year. That was a lot of people.
It was very impressive.
Yeah.
Then we also have on Saturday morning into the early afternoon, we have kids activities, music and percussion things going on in the River Music Experience Courtyard. And then later that evening, the YMCA downtown is doing a kids' night out. So if you want to come and check out some of the stuff and you don't have a babysitter, you can take them there at a small fee. They feed them. They're going to show some movies. They're going to have a lot of fun. Let mom and dad go out and be mom and dad for a while.
I'm not going to let you get away without talking about wrestling. You're going to have pro wrestling as well.
We are. We're going to have SCW, which is Scott County Wrestling.
Yeah.
They've been around in the Quad Cities for quite some time, and I think they've stayed a little underground, and so we're trying to change that. We're actually going to set up a ring out in the street, and so in the afternoon on Saturday, they're going to do 2 different shows for us, and we're going to have professional wrestling in the middle of downtown outdoors, and it's going to be awesome.
Well, there's so many things going on, and you're not going to be able to get to all of them. What does a person do if they're going to try to hit one in particular or one area in particular?
So we do have printed festival guides that will be available at all the venues. You can go to the first one, pick one up, and check it out. But the easiest way to navigate all this is to download the app. We have an app this year. It's brand new. It has the entire schedule on there for everything that's going on the entire weekend. You can actually create your own schedule. It will, if you're not familiar with the downtown, it will give you walking directions to get to the different venues. Mm-hmm. You can listen and preview the music, all those kinds of things, the bios, everything in there for the films and the comedians, everything. So we are really pushing people to do that. The other thing is too, that will be the most up-to-date information there is. If somebody misses a flight or has a flat tire or something, we'll put out a push notification, say, hey, unfortunately, this is going to change, or they might be later, or those kinds of things. So if you want that up-to-date information, get that app.
100 different performers, 100 plus, something could happen, but I mean, what a great opportunity just to catch a little bit of something, a taste of something all throughout the Davenport area.
Absolutely.
Jason, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Alternating Currents is going on this weekend. Check out the Adler Theater also for ticket details. And the Alternating Currents website has more on some of the acts performing this year. Just check that out when you can. WQPT is doing its part to support the military men and women in the cities who are serving our nation. We call it Embracing the Military, and it's called Living History. On August 30th, the LST-325, the only fully operational landing ship tank from World War II, will dock at the Isle Casino Hotel Marina in Bettendorf, and World War II veterans can tour it for free. Tours for the public will be held each day the ship is here through September 3rd. The LST-325 has been restored to its original condition. 10,000 people toured the ship when it was last in the cities 10 years ago. On the air, on the radio, on the web, and on your mobile device. Thanks for taking some time to join us. We talk about the issues on the cities.
Public affairs programming on WQPT is brought to you by the Sing Group at Merrill Lynch, serving the wealth management needs of clients in the region for over 25 years.